Hello, my name is Ashley McCants and I'm an occupational therapy student, and today's video is going to be on positive parenting tips for ages 0 through 8. So what is positive parenting? As a parent, you give your child a good start in life by nurturing, protecting, and guiding them. Positive parenting is showing children love, warmth, and kindness. So that can look different for every age, so that's why we'll go through all the ages. So, parenting tips for 0 to 1 year olds. So, talk to your baby. I've talked about this before with the developmental milestones, but they will find your voice very calming the more you talk to them, especially. Narrating your day is a great way to start socialization and communication with your baby. Another great way is answer your baby when they make sounds by repeating them. It'll kind of teach them that talking back and forth exchange. Read to your baby. I'll have the free books linked in the PowerPoint as well as linked down below. But this library is called the Barbershop Library. It's a really cool e-library with online books and then also free readings of the books as well. Singing to your baby, I'll have this link below too, but best songs to sing to your baby article. There are so many you can sing and even has the lyrics and links to them as well. So it's a great time to brush up on lullabies that you learned when you were a little kid too and singing those to your baby. Praise your baby and give them lots of love. Spend time holding and cuddling baby. Play with your baby when they are awake and alert. Distract your baby with toys and move them to a safe area where they can move and play with things freely. So babies will not be able to control when you say no and tell them not to do things because they don't mentally have the brain skills to understand that it's not safe. So you're going to have to lead them and kind of distract them with other toys and things that are safe for them to do and bring them to a safe spot, whether that be your living room where they have a safe area to be in, or a bedroom, family room where they can be watched and then also freely play. Also, make sure to take care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally as a parent because what you're able to put into your child is what you'll get out of it. So if you're very drained and not feeling great, it's going to be hard to connect with your child. So really try to take care of yourself as well and remember to do those things. Parenting tips for 1 to 2 year olds, and I'll have this link below for talking about timeouts as well. Read to your toddler daily. You can also do this when they're a little baby as well, but try to read every single day to your kid or have them read as well once they get older. Ask them to find objects for you or name body parts and objects. It's a great time to be singing songs about head, shoulders, knees, and toes. They can also start playing matching games. They might not be good at it at first, but that's how they learn, is going through the process and learning shapes, sorting stuff, and then simple puzzles as well. Encourage them to explore and try new things. Help to develop your toddler's sense of language by talking with them, and then add words and adding words to. What does that even mean? So, parenting tips for 1 to 2 year olds. Read to your toddler daily. You can even start this when they're an infant still. It's great to encourage that side of reading and doing those things. You can even have it as part of your routine. Ask them to find objects for you or name body parts and objects as well. So, if they like have a blue elephant or a red ball, you can ask them to get the ball or get the elephant, and that's how they'll learn those objects and colors. You can also play matching games with your toddler as well, like shape sorting and simple puzzles. You encourage them to explore and try new things. Like if they're worried at a playground and they want to try a new slide or something, go with them and encourage them to try those new things. Help to develop you can help to develop your toddler's language by talking with them and then also adding words to what they say. So describing things like when they say ball, ball, and you know that it's a blue ball, you can say, yes, a blue bouncy ball. And then that's how they'll learn those extra words that go into the description. Let your child help with dressing themselves and feeding as much as they can. So if they're pushing their arm through, if they're picking their clothes, or if they take a little while, but eating too, that's going to be really important. And I really talk about that in my self-help skills, how those develop and how you can encourage that. So feel free to check out the self-help and ADL video as well. Respond to wanted behaviors more than you punish unwanted behaviors, and only use very brief timeouts if you need to. Baby's brain is still developing at this point, even though they're hitting that toddler stage and they're getting to be 2 years old. it's really going to be hard for them to understand the concept of punishment. But when they do something good, they can understand a reward better than punishment. So, and I'll have this info over here on timeouts linked below on how each child's age determines how long the timeout should be and things like that. Always tell or show your child what they should do instead. So if they tried climbing on the table and they almost fell, you can say, ask mommy to get you the cup or things like that, because that's when they'll start these problem solving skills and they won't have a lot of safety awareness. So they might be doing dangerous things. So just watch out for that. Also, encourage your child's curiosity and ability to recognize common objects by taking little field trips together. You can go to the park and talk about trees and leaves, look for bugs. You can go on a bus ride and talk about the people on the bus too, that a lady's wearing a red hat or a man has a large briefcase or something like that, because they're seeing that mostly for the first time. So it's great to encourage the curiosity and ability to see those objects in everyday life. Parenting tips for 2 to 3 year olds. Set up a special time for you to read books with your toddler. So if you haven't added it into your routine already, you should be adding it into a routine, whether it's at night, in the morning, middle of the day. It's very important to start that early. Encourage your child to take part in pretend play. So if they want to pretend to be a doctor, an astronaut, or a space cowboy, they can do those things and let them do their little pretend play and really encourage it. And if they want you to play a part in it, play a part in it too. Play parade or follow the leader with your toddler. So when you're going places, say, follow the leader, or let's do a parade, you be the leader. So you can actually switch back and forth where you're the leader and you're doing big stomps and they have to do big stomps, or they'll walk behind in front of you and you have to follow what they do. So that's always fun to do. Help your child explore things around them by taking them for a walk or a wagon ride, just going outside and exploring things. Like I said previously, a lot of these times kids are remembering and seeing things for the first time, where they might not remember when it snowed when they were 6 months old, but now they're really going to remember it when they're a year and a half old. So that's really important to go through those things and talk about those things. You can also start teaching your child simple songs, like the songs you were singing to them when they were an infant. So Itsy Bitsy Spider, or other cultural childhood rhymes that you have too that are important to your family and your culture. Give your child attention and praise when they follow instructions and show positive behavior. Really limit attention for defiant behaviors like tantrums. At this time, your child's brain is really developing. So tantrums usually are very common with kids, unfortunately, because they just don't have the brain, especially developing in the front, to understand, oh, I can't have that right now, but maybe I can have it later. Or, oh, it's snowing outside, I can't go swimming. They will not have the brain development to understand that. So really limit the attention for those defiant behaviors, but also remember to show them praise. Like if they're being quiet in church or if they're being quiet at a library, say, you're doing such a great job being quiet at the library, because then they'll think, oh my gosh, I'm doing something right, and be excited about that. You can also teach your child acceptable ways to show that they're upset too. So when they want to share with someone or they want something, you can say, oh, you can say you're feeling upset. Aw, I'm upset too when I can't play with those things. So even just narrating their feelings and stuff can really help out. Also, I'll have this linked below, but I have an additional resource that I found on the web for temper tantrums as well that can be helpful. So 3 to 5 years old parenting tips. Continue to read to your child. Try going to a library if you haven't yet. They usually have a lot of not only great books, but they also do free events, free craft stuff, and free family stuff. So it's a great time to go and bond as a family, or bond as mother and child, or parent and child. So let your child help with simple chores. They will, if they haven't already, they will be asking to help and do a lot of things around the house. So please give them the time to do that. Even if it isn't the greatest, they're not going to be the best at washing dishes. Not everyone is great when they start doing something new. So give them time to learn and do those simple chores, and you can even put them into their routines. Encourage your child to play with other children. I talk about more about this in the stages of development as well with playing specifically. So feel free to check out the play video as well and how that looks at different ages. That'll be really interesting to see. Be clear and consistent with disciplining your child. So explain and show the behavior that you expect from them. Whenever you tell them no, follow up with what they should be doing instead. So if they're trying to take something from their sister and it's their sister's turn with the toy. You can say, no, it's not your turn yet, and give them a timer and then say, hey, you can play with this toy instead, or you can do something else. You can do either, you can help mommy sweep, or you can play with your toys over there. And they get to choose those two things. You can also help your child develop good language skills by speaking to him in complete sentences. So it's really important at this time. It's so hard not to do, oh, you're so weird, oh, so cute, and want to talk in a little baby voice, but it's actually really important to talk with their kids using grown-up words. That's really how they learn really good skills. I've seen kids that use very big words that sometimes I don't even know, and it's because their parents just talk to them kind of like they're grown-ups. This will help them use the words correctly and the phrases correctly, especially if they're having trouble with speech. Try to refrain from calling certain things like, oh, your bottle's your baba. Try to say, no, it's a bottle. But I understand that that can be fun to have little nicknames and stuff too. Also, help your child through the steps to solve problems when they are upset. So, why are we upset? I'm frustrated too. What can we do? So, kind of asking those big questions. I like to say, pretend like you're in a kid show or like Dora the Explorer, where they go through all of the steps of the problem. So they say, you spilled milk on the floor. What could we do? And then if your child's having trouble coming up, could we use paper towel to clean up the mess? And talking to them like that, where you're using nice, loud, and clear, but you're also using full sentences and then talking to them almost like they're a grown up as well. Also, give your child a limited number of simple choices. So if you say what you want to wear, but you give them a whole closet, and I talk about this in my self-help and ADL skills as well, that will be very overwhelming for your child to see. So try to really limit it. I've seen on Instagram and TikTok and all these social media platforms where they'll give two choices. They'll give them a cute little t-shirt or a cute little blouse for their daughter, and they get to pick between the two. So things like that. And even if you're having trouble getting your child dressed, you can give them choices and say, you can pick between this one and this one. And then most times they will pick from that. You can also give them choices on when to play and what to eat for snacks. So do you want goldfish or do you want vegetables? And if you're trying to give your child to do something specifically or to eat something specifically, make sure you do two from the same category. So if you give them something they really like and they eat all the time, like, oh, do you want Cheerios? They're going to say they want Cheerios. So you can say, hey, we can try zucchini tonight or we can try broccoli tonight. Which one do you want to try? And also making it fun really helps too. And I'll have some more info over here for temper tantrums, just like before, because sometimes they still go on. So parenting tips for 6 to 8 years old. So show affection to your child and give them praise when they do well. This is really important for all ages, but especially as they get older. If they're doing well in class and they've always done well, still give them praise for that. Or if they're good at spelling and they get another A on their spelling test, tell them they did great, even if they got A on the last 8 spelling tests. It's great to know that they're doing good, and most times they really want your attention during this time, especially at these ages when they're getting into grade school and then middle school. Ask your child to help with household chores. You can start giving them responsibilities on their routines and stuff, and I talk about this in the sleep and routines video as well. You could talk with your child about respecting others. So respecting spaces might be hard, especially if they didn't really go to daycare that much. So talk about respecting space, giving others the time to talk, letting others decide on things. We'll also talk about patience in a little bit too. Make clear rules about TVs and screens. I'll have an article linked below as well as in this PowerPoint about TV and screen time, but there is a lot of evidence that shows that if kids have, I think it's like an excess of 2 hours of screen time a day, it's very bad for sleep, behavioral issues. So really try to limit screen time to, I would even say just like an hour a day if possible, or even less than that, because it just can have a really bad effect on performance. So you can also read that article and make decisions for you and your children with that too. Help your child learn patience by letting others go first. So once they start learning, they'll know sharing by now. Also, you can start working on patience like, oh, your little sister or your little cousin that's 2 years old doesn't understand sharing yet. So letting them have the toy. Or, oh, let's let Marcy go first because she wanted to go first. You can wait, right? So things like that. So showing them that they can wait for things and have patience. Do fun things together as a family. Feel free to check out, I'll have it linked below, but my 101 Ways to Play is an indoors and outdoors edition. And there's tons and tons of things you can do on there. Also, look for free events in the area. I have some of those linked below for the Chicagoland area stuff. Also, get involved at your child's school, meet teachers and staff, and understand their learning goals so that you can see, oh, we're working on reading at home too. Do you have any tips? Because they might have some insights where they're like, oh, your daughter loves reading about horses, or your son loves reading about this. And that could be a way that you get them more interested in those learning goals. Also, continue to read, just like I was talking about, continue to read and with your child and encourage them to start reading on their own once they're ready. At about this age, you'll start to learn how to read on their own, and you can check out and pick those books from the library if you want. They're going to public school, they'll most likely have a public school library as well. So you can check those things out for them. Also, encourage your child to join clubs and sports if they're able to do that. Because I know that that can be a time constraint if you have a lot of kids or funds as well. But if you do have the time and ability to, clubs and sports are great ways for kids to start socializing and putting themselves out there, and being a part of a team is great for building those social skills. So more resources, I'll have these linked below as well, but they'll be linked to the PowerPoint, so you can check out the CDC's positive parenting tips. It goes for 0 to 17-year-olds. That's where I got a ton of this information here. There's also an article, The Power of Positive Parenting, 9 more steps to being a more effective parent. I also have my play handout linked below, the 101 Ways to Play, and my Present Parenting YouTube channel, which will be here just in case you forget where it's at. So thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments or fill out the survey or email me. I can be reached at this email, and hope you have a great day. Bye.